Morgen wird Max eine Reise machen. Er wird in den Zoo gehen, weil er die Tiere sehen will. Um 9 Uhr fährt er mit dem Bus los. Im Zoo wird er eine große Tüte Popcorn kaufen. Max wird seine Freundin Anna treffen und sie werden zusammen die Löwen sehen. Danach machen sie ein Foto mit den Elefanten. Später essen sie Eis im Café. Um 15 Uhr fährt Max wieder nach Hause. Am Abend erzählt er seinen Eltern von den Tieren. Am Wochenende wird er noch einmal in den Zoo gehen. If you want to learn how to talk about the future in German using the techniques that I just used in that short story, this video is for you. Today you'll learn how to imply the future tense without actually changing anything about what you already know about the German language, as well as how to explicitly use the future tense with the help of the verb werden. Jetzt legen wir los. That last sentence is actually our first example of how all of this works. Both in English and in German, we can use the present tense to talk about the future. We don't need to come up with any new phrasing or anything. Just add a time expression to your sentence that implies something that has not yet happened. For example, Morgen fahren wir nach Chicago. Tomorrow we are driving to Chicago. This sentence takes place tomorrow, which is the only indication that we have in this sentence about the future tense. You can clearly see this if you remove this one word. Wir fahren nach Chicago. We are driving to Chicago. So the first, easiest, and most common way to talk about the future in German is to add a time expression that tells the listener that the action is not happening then or at that moment, but later. Here are a few more examples just to make sure that you get the idea. Mein Bruder kommt im März zu Besuch. My brother is coming to visit in March. Im Sommer schwimmen wir oft. In the summer, we often swim. Am Donnerstag esse ich in einem neuen Restaurant. On Thursday, I am eating in a new restaurant. Er spielt 2 Fußball. He is playing soccer at 2. Since this version of the future is so easy, I'm not actually going to spend much time in this video discussing it. Let's move on to the real future tense with our friend werden. The verb werden is used in much the same way that will is used in English. You use it in addition to another verb within the sentence, and that other verb is used in the infinitive form. The infinitive form is the form of the verb that you'll find in the dictionary before you make any changes to it. Usually this means in German it ends with en. Ich werde diesen ganzen Kuchen essen. I will eat this entire cake. Unlike in English where the two verbs are next to each other, will and eat, in the German version, the infinitive verb goes at the end of the sentence, while werden stays in the place where the conjugated verb always goes. In statements, this is almost always in position 2, meaning it's the second item within the sentence. Not necessarily the second word, but at least the second item within the sentence. In questions, the conjugated verb is first, unless of course there is a question word, which obviously goes before that. Wir werden einer Wohlfahrtsgesellschaft $10,000 spenden. We will donate $10,000 to charity. Was werdet ihr in 10 Jahren machen? What will you do in 10 years? Meine Kinder werden wahrscheinlich Jobs haben. My children will probably have jobs. You'll notice that I cleverly avoided using the do and RCS forms of the verb werden in my examples so far. That's because werden is somewhat irregular and requires some weirdness, we'll call it. Instead of du werdest, which would make sense, we say du wirst. And instead of RCS werdet, we say RCS wird. For example, wirst du mit mir zu Abend essen? Will you eat dinner with me? Wird der Arzt wissen, was mit ihm los ist? Will the doctor know what's wrong with him? This brings us to our full conjugation of werden. Ich werde. Du wirst. Sie, es wird. Wir werden. Ihr werdet. Sie werden. Now let me tell you one more future tense story to showcase the future tense in German as I have laid it out for you in this video. Nächste Woche wird Tim eine Party für seinen Geburtstag planen. Am Dienstag kauft er die Einladungen und er wird sie noch am selben Tag an seine Freunde schicken. Am Freitag backt er einen Kuchen. Am Samstag um 16 Uhr kommen seine Freunde zu ihm. Sie werden Fußball im Garten spielen und Kuchen essen. Tim wird sehr glücklich sein, weil alle seine Freunde da sind. Um 18 Uhr machen sie eine Pause und Tim wird seine Geschenke auspacken. Später am Abend tanzen alle zu lauter Musik. Um Mitternacht werden sie müde sein und nach Hause gehen. Nächstes Jahr wird Tim wieder eine große Party haben. That's all there is to the future tense. If you want to learn how to talk about hypothetical situations using a different version of the verb werden, click over here. If you want to learn German directly with me, click over here. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Tschüss!